hate to go through this just to be able to work a crossword puzzle.
Oh,
which I'll never use again, and the gas to commute back and forth every day, lunch, library fees, and all the time I got to spend locked up studying away from you.
college is worth it, no matter what it costs.
I don't think so.
Well, I do.
I'll tell you what. When's your vacation start?
Next week.
Okay. We'll get out our sleeping bags and we'll go back into the woods someplace and camp for a week. Someplace where it's quiet, just you and me, and then we'll decide what's most important for both of us.
I already decided what I think's most important. I told Mr. Courtney I wasn't going to take the week off. Well, Norm, we need the money. When you graduate, I'll take a lifetime vacation. Norm?
I didn't figure you'd pull something like this on me.
Well, I thought you'd agree with me.
Rita, is this the way we're going to build our future? One of us just makes up his mind about something and tells the other one this is the way it's going to be? I thought we had more going for us than that. I know how you feel about my going to school. I thought at least we could sit down and talk. Come in. Oh, hi, Rod.
Hi. I thought you wouldn't mind if I come over and kick my shoes off. It got a little cold over at the mansion tonight.
Hi, Rod.
Hello, Rita.
Oh, thank you very much. And how about if we open it now?
Well, yeah, why don't you? I can't stay.
I thought you were going to kick off your shoes for a while.
Yeah, well,
Oh, have you eaten yet?
Yes, Rita, I ate.
How about some dessert?
I've got
Chocolate ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream?
Come on, Rita. You've got yourself a sale. The Harrington boys never turn down a dish of chocolate ice cream.
Hey, Norm, I didn't mean to bother you.
That's all right. That's all right. What's wrong? What's bothering you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just a little wound up, that's all.
Allison. Well, I'm glad you came here to unwind. You know, Rod, we've been through a lot. And I think we've come out stronger. At least you and I have.
And our father?
Our father? Oh, yeah, we used to call him dead when we lived with him. And all of a sudden, a branch off the family tree is missing.
Yeah, a branch. But you know what bugs me, Norm? We're part of that tree. We've inherited. From our grandfather, from our mother, and from our father.
Maybe we just came out lucky. We just came out with a good side.
Maybe.
Mr. Carson still hasn't come back?
No, ma'am. Do you wish to leave a message?
The same as before. Tell him to call home immediately.
Yes, ma'am.
Betty, better make that the hospital. Change that to Doctor's Hospital in Peyton Place.
Do you have the number?
555-4100.
What area code?
311.
Thank you.
Ready? We need a coat.
Yeah, I'll be warm enough.
All right.
Carson, come and sit down. Easy. Now, way back. How far apart are they coming?
About every 4 minutes.
Why hurry? Breathe in. Deeply, deeply.
Oh,
That's it.
Betty, call.
The doctor's on his way. He'll be here any minute.
Betty, call the hotel. Try to reach Elliot.
Has Mr. Carson called the hospital?
No, he hasn't. I'll need some admission information, Mrs. Carson. No. Stay here. I'll get the form.
Oh. He's not going to make it.
I'll call him as soon as Miss Cho comes back.
Hello, Betty. Connie, Dr. Morton called me at home. He didn't think he should risk exposing either you or the baby to this virus, and I agreed. So it looks like you're going to be having a substitute stork. Well, I hope it doesn't throw you a curve.
Of course not, Mike. It's just that nothing's turning out the way I planned.
We haven't been able to get a hold of Mr. Carson.
He went to New York to look for Alice. It was my idea, not his. I never thought of the baby coming early. Second one's due. Oh, if I hear that one more time, I'll...
Scream. It's as good an excuse as any. I'll try to get a hold of your husband.
Doctor, I still have to fill out the admission form. If you'd rather I'd wait until you examine Mrs. Carson,
Well, do you have a timer for contractions?
Betty said every 4 minutes.
Well, I wanted to know whether or not we'd be having you here for a while. I'll have to get you a room. Mrs. Chubb, would you do that, please, while I change you?
Yes, Doctor. Mrs. Carson? Are you beginning another pain? No.
Thank you. Dr. Rossi,
Any luck?
I told them to try again in 5 minutes. How close do you think it is?
Well, we still have a little time.
It can't be that long.
We'll see, Betty.
Sergeant?
Oh, hello, Rodney. Sorry, no news.
Oh, listen, well, can I see some reports? Any reports at all you might have on crank calls or false leads, anything on Allison?
I'm not supposed to let anybody read reports, but between you and me, you just get depressed. There's nothing solid.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Chris? Hello, Rod. What are you doing here? Nothing? Just tasting it, Rod. Just tasting it. Are you playing a game? I walked this whole room. Every square foot of it I paced off. It's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. Were you the judge? Everything's in exactly the right position, Rod. Prosecution table on the left, defense table on the right, and the witness stand at just exactly the right place. And no jury box. It's a classic hearing room, right out of a textbook. What was your verdict? Hearings need special rooms. They have special needs. What did Judge Christopher Weber say to the defendant? For a while, I sat right over here, Rod. Left side, the prosecution side. The first spectator row. But after a while, I went up to that witness stand. 5 paces. I took the stand, Rod. And in my mind, I saw Stephen Cord sitting right over there, and next to him, Lee. When did you move to the judge's chair? You know, I must have been in here a long time, Rod. I don't have my watch with me, but I remember the sun was on my face when I came in the building. Well, it's late now. It's been pitch black for a couple of hours. I came in here to be alone. And the last thing you wanted was a guy to come up behind you and ask you a lot of questions, right? That's right. Well, I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. Good night. All right. I was the judge. I must have sat up here for an hour or more, weighing the evidence. You know, they ought to lock this place up at night, Rod. People can come in right off the street and act out their little dramas. Chris, I sat up here, and in my mind, I saw that defense table, and I said, brother, I find you guilty of hating me from the first day I ever drew a breath. Chris, your brother is up for the murder of Ann Howard. Isn't that enough?
I find you guilty.
Guilty! You want him to spend the rest of his life in prison?
He's my brother.
You want him to die?
Connie, easy now.
Dr. Rossi?
Connie, I think it's time. We've got to get you ready.
There's no hurry. I'm hours away from having it.
Connie,
I know.
Connie, listen, once it starts, you can't stop. You have to go through with it.
I've changed my mind.
Mrs. Carson,
Oh, did you reach him?
he's on his way. The first plane he can catch.
Mrs. Carson, that's wonderful.
All right, madam. I've humored you long enough. Come on, let's get started.
But don't hurry. Even airplanes take time.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
He wants to bring his personal vendetta with Hannah and me out into the public arena. Now, if you refuse to stop him, Betty, he can only end in one way. Total destruction. Not only for me and for Hannah, but for all of us.
You're pulling something on me, Coy. I'll come back, and I'll get you.
When?